3, 2, 1, vote. Oh no!
I mean, I know that looks like one vote, buddy, but I gotta tell you, I think that's a lot of them.
Howdy, howdy, howdy. Welcome to Imminent Peril Online, the digital version of an up-and-coming Kickstarter sensation in the card game department. Imminent Peril is a action-packed, chaos-fueled survival card game. No character sheets, no rules, no DM, just pure imagination. So pack your smarts and we'll kick some butt. If folks would like to introduce themselves, I'm Aaron Lanowitz, AA Ron, creator of the game.
Hi, I'm Ginger Snap. I'm a Twitch streamer.
I'm Penny, or Pen, and I'm also excited to play this, especially online. I played this in person. I can't wait to see how it goes online.
I am Avi, and I am a game enthusiast, songwriter, and I have played this online. The designer of the game is my book dealer. It's one of my book dealers.
I got him hooked on Dungeon Crawler Carl, and
You did not give me.
oh no. That's how we met. Was you already reading that one? Superpowers.
Superpowers.
Right?
So good. Highly recommend.
Yeah.
And I'm Ben. I have not read those, but maybe they'll get me into it. I've played the game before. I love the game. Very excited to play today.
So we've all sat down at our digital table. We can jump right into the game. First step is setup. So we're going to roll our scenario. This gives us 4 random elements to kickstart the story that we're going to be building out as we play. So for today, for this game, we are starting with collapsing Easter Island, inhabited by extraterrestrial dwarves. So, that being said, would anybody else like to just add any additional details to help glue these elements together? Don't worry, once these elements are more firmly established in our head, you probably won't have to look back at them. And they only matter to kick us off. Much of it is just us interacting with each other. But just to reiterate, collapsing Easter Island, that makes me picture as the island's collapsing into the ocean or something, it's revealing that the Easter Island heads are full buried bodies of something.
I was kind of confused because when I talk about Easter Island collapse, usually I'm talking about the ecology of the whole island. I'm like, that's kind of slow, though.
The economy.
I'm hungry, but we're out of trees.
That seems a little too sad and real to be the version of collapsing that we use today.
Is it collapsing because the alien dwarfs came, or was it already collapsing?
Yeah. Sure, the aliens came and they're landing all over the place. The island was not meant to take all of their heavy dwarven ships.
Maybe the statues were like a navigational beacon thing that helped them find it again. You know, they left it here a long time ago, and now they're back.
Or maybe it's like the Flatwoods monster, with his little feeties inside that whole little suit.
I like the narrative that the statues are the dwarves. I do like that. And now that the ground shrunk just a little bit and started to collapse, that's revealed the rest of the body.
Okay, so the dwarves look like Easter Island people, but with little legs, little bodies, big heads.
Should absolutely look up a reference image, because the image in my head now is hilarious.
Oh, they actually do have bodies. They're not just heads. Okay, so that's dwarves. Yeah, that's our space dwarves.
Dwarfs in space are just larger than the dwarfs we would know.
Yeah. We were trying to minimize their existence during our tales, but they're not happy about that. All right, so now we want to put ourselves somewhere into the scenario as characters who were doing something. So we need who are you in this story, and what were you doing before things went terribly wrong?
I don't know about you guys, but I was just here for vacation, okay? I was just having a nice time on the beach with my free punch drink and just what?
I was also with Pen on vacation. Girls trip.
Woo!
Why Easter Island? I don't know.
Well, I'll tell you why I was there. I happen to be a very infamous fisherman, and I came for the excellent fishing right off the coast of the Easter Islands when everything started getting wonky.
I'm a government representative who got a little bit of forenotice that the aliens were coming, and I'm there to assure that they're greeted and respected and also will become friends of the United States.
So I was abducted as a teenager by aliens, and I've since spent time touring the world for any case of abductions, hoping to reconnect with
You
my
miss
Swedish captors. Right, because all captors are from Sweden, Stockholm, I believe.
Oh, that hurts me. There's a card I was considering putting in this game. We're having trouble finding examples, but it's pun based, and I think you would do well. So we're each in the scenario in some fashion. Before we move on to the actual rounds and phases of the game, there's some ground rules that folks should know when playing. Fun first. So, this game isn't meant to create arguments. Death isn't really meant to be all that big of a penalty. We want to have fun. If there's any confusion as to like when something should or shouldn't happen, we could put it up to a quick vote. Free will. Players cannot dictate what the other players are doing. Only the players themselves can say what their body's doing, what they're thinking, feeling. However, when putting each other into danger, we can control the environment and the circumstances around those players. So yes, and this is an improv-heavy game. At any time during the game, players can add new details, as long as it fits the current scenario, roughly, and that is an evolving thing. And it does not contradict established details. We can help each other out if somebody seems like they're having a little trouble thinking of something, but in the end, if it's somebody's turn, it is their choice, kind of like what makes it into our reality. Nobody's going to die on their first round. This gives us a chance to warm up and get a feel for the game before there's real consequences. If somebody's card has an effect, that effect is permanent. So if, for example, you have a card that makes your arms 10 times their normal size, even though your little body stays the same, that's a permanent change. However, if a card says something like, you can fly, even if for that round you could fly, in following rounds, you can't really use flight as the way to escape your danger. That's like active use of a power versus the permanent consequences of a power. And finally, when using our powers, you can only affect an elephant's worth of stuff. We call it the elephant rule. So your cards can affect something the size of an elephant's amount of things, like however many bees can fit inside of an elephant. But when we're putting each other in danger for the peril round, you have full creative liberties as long as it fits the scenario. So all that being said, let's recap where each of us were. First I have to deal cards, so everybody has abilities, now that we're in the world. Normally everybody gets the number of players plus 1 cards. That's because as the game progresses, any card you use is discarded, so your hand is shrinking. So next, I've dealt the cards. I'm going to deal targets. Look at who your target is. That way you can pay special attention to that person describing where they last were in preparation for trying to create the peril for them. So for me, it's Ben. Let's go around the circle, recap where we were. I was a government agent. Sent there to try to win the hearts of our new dwarven overlords.
I was abducted by aliens as a teen, and I have been trying to reconnect with my new friends. I miss them. I want to see them again. Since they've been gone. And I've heard this one's a real credible opportunity, so I'm here to looking to see him again.
I am a renowned fisherman who has traveled far and long to get to the Easter Islands for some premium fishing when I noticed things started to seem off in the distant sunset. And I guess I'm on the coast.
James and I are just on the beach. We're hanging out because girls prep. I got my fruity drink in hand, nice little lounge chair. Wondering where everyone is, because isn't this it's an island? Why aren't there more?
Got my strong drink in hand.
That's all that matters.
So, whoever your target is, act as the narrator, continue their story, and put them into some kind of immediately life-threatening danger. Once you know what their peril will be, flip the target card face down. And once everybody's target card's face down, once we've all had a chance to think without, trying to pay attention to a bunch of different things, then we'll go one by one saying what that person's new peril is. All right. So every round, the me first is going to shift, so it's not the same person having to kind of kick off the narration. For now, I will go first. All right. So my person was Ben. Ben, on your wild fishing expedition, these larger than expected dwarven aliens arrive. They try to land on the island. The island can't take the weight. It's fracturing, and as it cracks open, revealing dwarven mines like an anthill, among other things, it's pulling all of that seawater into the gaps. So as the island cracks, the seawater begins pouring in, and your boat is just shattering and being beaten about while it floods into the dwarven mines. So you're kind of going to be beaten by all of the rapids and...
Sounds great.
All right, Ginger Snap.
Okay, I got Aaron. And you're meeting up with the aliens, the earth starts to crack and crumble. You fall into one of the big Easter Island head holes. The dirt is very soft, so you can't claw your way back up. You can't climb out of there. And you're just stuck in there while some dirt is falling on you. Not a lot, but it's trickling in.
Don't be afraid to make things more immediately life-threatening. So
the earthquake happens and everything starts to collapse.
Well, I mean, for your example, so go ahead and say mud and dirt is pouring in so that I know buried alive,
mud and dirt
suffocating.
pouring in, but it's also very soft, so you can't make your way out of this hole.
I got you now.
So it's
the
very,
quicksand
it's almost like quicksand, but it's also if you ever seen movies with people falling into corn mills and stuff like that, so they can't get out because you have to try to lay flat to distribute your weight, and you can't climb out because the dirt just keeps coming off the walls.
Yep. Is that sufficiently horrifying?
So, Ginger, you're just there. You're enjoying yourself in the lounge chair, strong drink in hand. Everything's great, and then the entire island starts to just shake and to rumble. And before you know it, your lounge chair is launching into the ocean. And the ocean, it's not just the normal happy little beach day. It is incredibly wavy and choppy because the entire island is collapsing. So even if you're a good swimmer, you're not really going to be able to swim out of this normally. So you're just rocketing straight into the ocean. Like a scary, scary roller coaster.
So this is the worst undertow I've ever been in.
Yes. Bye, Ginge. I tried to hold on, but I had a really good drink in my hand.
Did I still have my drink in my hand when I go into the water?
I'd like to think
That's
so.
up to you.
I'd be like this, yeah, I got this.
Yeah.
So it's funny you guys should talk about quicksand. So with all of the collapsing and earthquaking and everything, it just so happens one of these fault lines is right underneath the part of the beach that Penn's at. And so, the sand is just straight up getting sucked in. And it's sucking faster than Penn is on her drink. Now, unfortunately, the way that it's sucking, it causes how lawn chairs can really awkwardly collapse in on themselves, kind of like a Venus flytrap. What's a good thing that Penn's been doing a lot of stretching lately because Penn, you're definitely in a forced fetal position, in the middle of a Venus flytrapped lawn chair, being sucked into the earth. And I can't quite tell, but it kind of looks like there's a smirk on one of the Eastern Island faces.
I think I like my peril a lot better.
And one second, I'm being stretched? I thought you said I was in the fetal position.
No. It's good you've been stretching. Because you're very much imagine imagine like the lawn chair hot dog buns with you in it. So like you're like kissing your toes
Oh, okay, okay. I see what
Yeah.
you mean. Okay, so I'm flexible. Okay.
while being sucked into the earth. Yeah.
Yeah. Good on all that hot yoga that you've been up to.
All right. Avi, sweet Avi, youthful, ambitious, excited to return to meet his previous captors. In your excitement, you were up on a tall ridge to get a lay of the land, and just when the earth started to shake, you took your gaze to the skies, looking for your alien captors to greet them and to just be rejoined once again after all this time. And in doing so, as you started to sprint towards them, you didn't see the top of a newly emerging stone head that's coming out of the ground as the earth is shifting, and you stub your toe hard. So hard, in fact, that your body is slung and catapulted over the cliff that you were just standing over, and you are now free falling to the ground, which is at least 50 feet away.
Could I ask what kind of ground, just so I know what level of peril I'm in?
Rocky. So rocky. So many rocks, just the sharpest rocks that you can imagine. Yeah.
All right, so what you want to do now is, well, first, does everyone fully understand their imminent peril? Okay. So pick one of your abilities and think about how, using that ability, you would best survive the situation. Once you know, put the ability card in the space in front of you. It'll automatically pop face down. And as a reminder, the first round immunity, nobody is going to die. Oh, one more thing. So if you don't like any of your options, at any time you can discard a card and then draw a new card, but you have to immediately use that new card. Everybody's ready? It's still me first. So I am falling into a quicksand-ish pit of just loose dirt filling up. Even if I stayed absolutely still, I'd still be like buried alive. Luckily, though, I have matter ingestion. I can eat anything I can fit into my mouth, which can open cartoonishly like a snake. Whatever is eaten is irrevocably gone. So as the dirt is, all this loose dirt is pouring in, I just lay back and I open my mouth and I let it fill that sweet, sweet dirt craving. Ginger Snap?
So as I'm in the water getting pulled out, as the island is cracking, I have nanobots. My body's full of microscopic robots programmed to perform a single complex task at a time. So I'm going to, get them to, like a protective covering over me, so where I have oxygen, but I'm also not getting banged up by any of the coral. If there's coral, I don't always do that well. But I ask them to, just protect me.
Your body is full of nanobots. That explains so much, Ginge.
Does it really?
It really does.
Sorry, I didn't tell you.
All the alcohol is to actually fuel the nanobots. Nothing
Yes.
to do with a problem.
Guys, I'm not an alcoholic, okay? I just have to feed them.
They're the alcoholics. I promise.
And they just tend to share.
She just keeps talking about nanobots, guys. I don't know.
That's a lot of little mouths to drink.
Superflight. I can defy gravity and move through space at will. This does not make me impervious to collisions. So, yes, I am human sandwich, touching my toes, getting sucked in to the beach while a Easter Island head is smirking off to the distance, which really scary added detail there, but it's okay. I just take off like a freaking rocket. I just take off like a little Superman escaping Krypton from the collapse. I'm taking the chair with me. It is adding just a little bit of protection. So I'm still folded in half, but I've been stretching. Like Avi somehow knows. Now he knows that about me. But anyway, I'm still stretched, but it's fine. It's good. I'm very flexible. And I just take off out of the beach, out of the collapsing sand. It's good.
With fists and feet first.
Yes. Superman, but
Yep.
with feet.
Awesome.
So I happen to be, I don't know if you know this about me, Pen or anybody, I'm a master of disguise. So even upon falling, I take advantage of the air around me, and I fill all of my clothes with air, kind of Kirby style. I'm able to turn myself essentially into looking like a very attractive hot air balloon. And yeah, and then I blow a bit, and so that helps me to offset my fall away from these rocks a little bit. Yeah.
All right. So I, renowned fisherman who sailed all across the world in my boat when all this went down, am now crumbling in my vessel in the ocean and about to drown. But luckily, I have a BFF. Summon or enchant a creature to be your best friend forever. They will do absolutely anything for you. Anything. And, I've seen a lot of things on the sea, tales that you all wouldn't believe. I'm sure some of you maybe are familiar with Moby Dick, right? The white whale. Well, let me tell you about Moby Duck. This thing is a duck the size of an elephant like you've never seen or thought of before. He's a vicious little beast. And one time when we were going, toe to toe in a battle, I was going to turn him in for the prize money and invest in limes to go against the scurvy. I guess I'm a pirate fisherman now. He nearly had me dead, and in his last killing blow, he decided to spare me. We've been best friends ever since. So I pulled out my trusty duck whistle, which I'm sure you all can imagine exactly what that looks like. And he was summoned, and I'm now jumping from my wreckage onto his fluffy, feathery back and reunited with my pal.
It's a good thing you and Moby Duck are friends, and he's doing this for free, because I know a guy who got in a lot of debt with Moby Duck for a favor. You should have seen the bill.
Oh my god.
I'm leaving.
That was a lot of lead up.
I love it.
All right. So the next step of the game is going to be to vote for who's least likely to survive. Now, everybody's going to survive this round, but just for practice's sake, let's do a quick one-sentence recap of our peril and how we're surviving in preparation for the vote. So I was being buried alive, and to escape the slippery, pebbly debris from just covering me entirely, I opened my cartoonishly large mouth and just began devouring it.
I was getting pulled out to sea, and I have nanobots that I activated just to protect me so I don't get hurt or drowned.
I have taken off. I was getting just eaten, sucked into the ground to the beach, and also my deck chair. Exactly. So I just alphabet right out of there, inside the deck chair still for extra protection.
I disguised myself using my clothes as a hot air balloon, and I floated softly and slowly and safely and demurely, mindfully, cutely to the side.
And I jumped from the wreckage of my ship to my good old friend Moby Duck to safety.
Awesome. So once you know who you'll vote for, go ahead and pick up a token, and just don't put it down yet. To prevent us from affecting each other's votes, I'm going to do a countdown. So we'll say 3, 2, 1, drop them, and all together we'll put it on whoever we're voting for. 3, 2, 1, vote. Oh no!
Avi, I know that looks like one vote, buddy, but I gotta tell you, I think that's a lot of them.
Well, that's a
I
first.
voted for myself.
Oh,
Wait a second, yeah.
so there is a rule. You can't vote for yourself. But I don't know if that changes things too drastically here.
Because of your rule.
All right. So if the person would die, they would get to describe for themselves what went wrong. You are the master of your own destiny, even if it ends tragically. But since that was a immunity round, I guess, we'll just move on to the next round. Everything that folks said happened the way they said it. You now have a new target in front of yourself. Targets continue to rotate so that nobody's just picking on the same person over and over again. With your new target in mind, does anybody need a recap of what their target was doing before things at the end of the last round. And if everyone knows what their target was doing, now you want to continue. Take a moment, think about what their new peril would be. So, Ginger Snap, reveal your target and tell us what's happening to them.
Okay, so it's Ben. He's on, Moby Duck, trying to hang on as best as he can because, he's wet. Water off a duck's back. Trying his hardest to hang on to Moby Duck. And then, since the island cracked open, it also shifted some tectonic plates. So I'm thinking tsunami. So you're getting pulled out of the crack that first happened. And it's going pretty fast. Moby Duck is the size of an elephant, but it's still, still getting taken out with that current. Like I said, a tsunami's coming. But Moby Duck gets stuck in mud since there's no more water. So it got pulled out, and then it got stuck in the mud. The little webbed feet can't move. And now you're in peril because the tsunami's coming back in, and Moby Duck is stuck.
All right. So Aaron, you were getting buried. You're with the sand and the dirt and everything. You opened up your voracious mouth, saved yourself, just ate it, consumed it. As you were doing that, your new alien friends that you were hoping to make friends with were watching. They're a little horrified by what they see. Not like, oh God, it's a monster, it's gonna hurt us, but like, oh God, like that sort of horrified. They're disgusted. And you just ate so much, and you are very full. That it needs to go somewhere. So,
No.
and you are also the representative for this country. If this goes wrong, you will instantly die of embarrassment, if not other gastrointestinal issues. So, so you're feeling some grumblies, because just because you can eat something doesn't mean you should. Just everything is edible. Some things are only edible once. Okay, and you just
did say that it disappears when he eats it.
Oh shoot!
I'm fine with where this is going. This seems
So you gotta find a way to deal with this indigestion. Let's call it indigestion. Yeah, like it could go either way. You need to find a way to deal with this quickly and discreetly before you just either it kills you itself, or if you just let nature take its course, you're going to die of embarrassment.
just for clarity. Am I going to die of embarrassment, or am I going to die from this giant lump of like impassable dirt?
So if you just stop it from happening full blast,
Yeah.
then you're going to die internally from it needs to go
Okay.
there.
And that'll be embarrassing.
And if you just let nature take its course, you're going to die from embarrassment. So there's
okay,
different ways. So you need to take care of this. Basically.
It's like a pick your own story peril. Which way?
I'm just saying. You just can't shit yourself, hon. Okay, you gotta make a good first impression. You only get one first impression.
All right, I'm on board.
So my person is Ginger Snap. So Ginger Snap, my friend, that's tsunami. You're in the water.
Was in the water.
Oh, did you get out of the water? I
No,
thought they
because
just
the
helped you
water
breathe.
recedes.
Yes, you're flat.
I'm still in it. I'm still in the water.
Because you recede with the water.
Mm-hmm.
You're like halfway to Sri Lanka by now.
Damn it.
You're just
I'm at Albuquerque.
Way to leave me on a girls' trip.
Yeah, you're like, it's a good thing you have these nanobots, because you're basically, what was that submarine that was trying to look at the Titanic?
Oh no.
Yeah, you're that one.
Ocean Gate.
Yeah.
Are you a billionaire? I mean, it might not help. But
No,
I
I don't think
you're getting
I don't
deep.
have a
It's getting
PlayStation controller, so I think I'm winning on that front.
It's worse. It's
getting
Nintendo.
cold. And the thing about nanobots is they're bots. And jellyfish really like bots because the whole electric thing. And so have you heard of sea wasps?
Mm-hmm.
They're the most dangerous thing in the world. And they like you a lot right now.
Oh no.
So they're all gathering. You're kind of in a swarm of sea wasps. While also weirdly, it's you know how we're technically going really fast through space right now, but we don't know it because everything around us is going really fast through space. So you're going like real fast through the ocean, like away from here, but like also with the sea wasps and like other random debris. So like it doesn't feel like you're going really fast, but like yeah, you're going like 500,000 miles per hour.
Hi, Pen.
I said not 500,000, 500 miles per hour. I had a hold up. Side note: I had like this like natural disasters book as a kid, and like I know that a tsunami goes at the speed of a jet. So that's why I know this.
Holy I didn't know
So
that was that realistic of an estimate. Holy crap.
Yeah.
Well, it's come time to find out what's happening to Penn. And as you have now demonstrated your superpowers and are flying away as a folded taco, little did any of us know that our alien hosts, the highest form of disrespect in their culture is to leave without saying goodbye. So one of them looked up, saw you flying away, rallied his pals together, and it's one of those situations where as you like started to pass them and are flying away, one of them jumped up and grabbed your beach chair, and then another one jumped up and grabbed him, and then so on and so forth until now you have a chain of alien dwarves dangling from your chair. And then the bottom dwarf is now crawling the other dwarfs to get up to you, and he's going to attack you for this great crime that you've committed. So, good luck.
What's like? How do they attack? Like, we're talking like space lasers. These are dwarves. So it's going to be like a space pickaxe.
That's a
It's gonna be
good.
just claws.
That's a good call. I've heard that space dwarves particularly like to eat people's heads. So
Okay. I'm a
Big old
tasty
chompers.
flying taco.
yep.
That's true. You asked
I'm
for
a tasty
this.
taco.
Avi, as you were so gracefully, gently, demurely floating down to the ground, unfortunately that very last couple inches, there was a very sharp rock among all that rubble, and it punctures your inflated suit, and like a little air-powered rocket, you fire straight towards your beloved aliens. But your trajectory isn't the greatest it could be. You're actually aiming for their engines, which are made of a lot of like unreasonably, or we don't understand them, but it's just chocked full of gears. All kinds of bronzy, twisting, twirling, grinding gears.
Dang. Yeah, that feels imminently perilous.
Good. So, pick one of your abilities. Once you know how you would survive using that, put it face down in front of you. I just know that Avi's like constructing a really good pun right now.
I can't say all that. All I could say is that this idea is absolutely nuts.
All right. Ginger Snap, kick us off.
So I'm going along, getting pulled out with this tsunami. I have like the swarms of jellyfish around me. I have nanobots, but the nanobots are attracting them to me, and I just can't seem to get like away from them. So I have animal mimicry.
Yeah, mimicry.
Is that right? I can. You can mimic the attributes and abilities of an animal. So I'm an anemone.
Oh.
I turn myself into, not really myself, but my attributes are like anemone like. So if they get stung, it doesn't hurt me. But Nemo said, I live in an anemone, yeah. So I hopefully that's gonna work for me, since the nanobots kind of turned on me and brought this swarm of jellyfish, and I don't want to get stung today. It's a girl trip. I gotta make it back to that beach. Gotta go find my friend Pen. So I don't want to die today. So what could help me? I see an enemy. Yeah, that thing.
So, emergency escape hatch. Luckily, I planned for this very situation and installed a nearby emergency escape hatch. I'm able to just kind of duck out of my, rocketing off deck chair, beach chair. So I just kind of drop down, and you know what I still have in my hand? I still have my drink. And I'm like, yo, guys, I wasn't leaving without saying goodbye. I was just getting out of the beach. I brought drinks for all of us because, I got this. I have a big drink. Okay, this is my little fake Stanley cup. Okay, I got drinks for all of us.
All right, Avi.
All right, so it just so happens, I have this really quirky ability. It comes from having like traveled and often like living in hostels and like not always having I often find a way to live outdoors and sleep outdoors, and I've made friends with many animals. I'm basically a Disney princess. So given this ability to attract all of these allied creatures, I have attracted quite a few. So let me explain. 1,000 of them are squirrels. These 1,000 squirrels have specifically brought many acorns and nuts, depositing them in the engines. Now, the thing is I didn't say this earlier, but I'd actually asked them to do this a while ago because I don't want my friends to leave again. I've been tracking these aliens for years. And so I've been trying to destroy this engine. And, it just so happens the squirrels got there just before this clothed balloon popping incident. And they're depositing nuts. But that's not the only kind of nuts present. So raccoons. I have 3,000 raccoon friends. They're small raccoons. They're kits is the technical term for young raccoons. Raccoons, you might know, really like shiny objects. Nuts, as in nuts and bolts, count as shiny objects. So they've been dismantling the engines from the sides, from the insides. I don't know why their construction uses similar things, and they're also called nuts. But anyway, the aliens, they're not so different than us. They might have learned that from me upon abduction. I don't know. And then, meanwhile, I have 5,000 pigeons. I spent a lot of time in New York, don't ask. And the pigeons have all collectively come and gathered around. And I look like that chick from the second Home Alone movie. It's covered in pigeons. And they're carrying me to safety along the side. So, yeah, it's a lot of nuts. I told you this story would be nuts. It is.
It's a three-prong approach. Appreciate that. So I don't think I ever expected somebody to divide up their summon into multiple classes
I
and
hadn't
contingents.
planned on it initially, and then when I looked at it, I was like, Does it say it has to be one thing? It doesn't. And so, let this be known, all of you out there, and I am staring at the camera with a waggling finger, who might play this game in the future. You can split your summon.
If only I had heard you say that before I also formulated my survival strategy. Because you see, I have the ability to summon a horde, where I can summon up to 1,000 allied creatures no larger than a raccoon to aid you. Well, as we know, Moby Duck is now trapped in the mud as the water has receded, and a new tsunami is now rushing back to swallow us whole. Luckily, however, Moby Duck has 1,000 babies, all little tiny regular sized ducks that are now going to rush to the scene and help push Moby Duck up and out of the mud. And we're all going to waddle away as a happy little family.
So, to try to avoid the embarrassment that would surely end my career and life, before the aliens can look down into my hole and really see what I'm doing, I pull my underpants in front of me so I can... Well, first, thinking with portals, I can create a pair of spatially linked portals on two flat surfaces. So I hike my fancy belt and stretchy, classy pants on my suit, and I shoot a portal down into my underwear, right where my butt would be. And then I shoot another portal on the side of the pit here. And as I brush myself off to try to recapture the situation in favor for my government, I climb out of the pit with a few small grunts and which I try to mask with clearing my throat. And dirt is just kind of pouring out the side of the hole. Dirt and other things. And I straighten up, clear the last of my colon, and walk towards my alien friends to try to greet them. Alright, so in preparation for voting, we will go in a circle, do a quick recap to remind everybody what the situation is.
So getting pulled out with the tsunami that goes out and then comes back in, but I have nanobots that are attracting a very, very dangerous jellyfish. I almost said sea swarm. So I use my ability that I do have, and I don't tell many people about that. I can have attributes and abilities of animals, and I decided to be a CNN.
I am dropping out of my beach chair with drink in hand because the aliens are super offended that I was leaving early and therefore coming to kill me. So I dropped out of there, drink in hand, like, guys, I wasn't leaving. I was making an entrance. Brought drinks.
Baby raccoons climbed into the thing to collect the nuts because I wanted to dismantle the ship so they can't leave, so that the aliens, my friends, can't leave. As did the squirrels, are just dropping acorns and nuts in the gears, and pigeons are coming to fly me away. Tons of them, 5,000 pigeons, in fact.
Moby Duck's 1,000 children are coming to the rescue to dislodge us from the mud left from the water receding, and because they're tiny little feet, they don't sink into the mud like Moby's, huge elephant feet.
And I fire a portal into my underwear and on the side of the little concavity here, so that my unfortunately timed movement can pass without interrupting the important mission that I'm here to fulfill. All right. So once you know who your vote for, pick up a token. Once everybody's got a token picked up, I'll call a countdown. 3, 2, 1, drop them. Ooh. So, in imminent peril, in the event of a tie, both die. So, Ben, what went wrong?
So this plan was never gonna work. These are baby ducks, right? They haven't learned to be obedient to their mother, Moby Duck. And as they started waddling in towards us, they looked over their shoulders and saw the tsunami and immediately proved their disloyalty and fled the scene, leaving me and Moby Duck to just stare into each other's eyes, embrace each other one last time after all those battles and years together, and get swept away by the force of the tsunami.
So as I was climbing my way out of my pit, brushing off my suit, I realized that there's just no way my underpants could contain a portal big enough to fit everything that was attempting to move its way through me. And trying to keep optimistic as I was walking towards the aliens, sweat just starting to pour down my face. Suddenly my eyes go bloodshot and I just kind of topple over forward. And one last you hear off in the distance behind me, one last
So you butt off more than you could chew?
I chewed it fine. Thank you very much.
But now you have no more ifs, ands, or buts.
Fresh out.
Fresh out of butts.
All right. So those who died, go ahead and hit the skull above you. Then there were 3. Before the next round, the last phase is for the dead to make the situation worse. We're not allowed to directly target any particular player. That's what the active players continue to do. But it's our job to escalate the overall terrible situation. Maybe bring back forgotten story elements or things that have just passed under the radar for a little bit, or make something up new that's situationally appropriate. For example, me, I feel like the cracking of the island hasn't been used in a little bit. So that island, as it was cracking open and seawater was just draining into it, big tsunami fired away from it and coming back. Half of the island is just sinking into the ocean at that fault line.
All right, and for my added elements, I'd like to focus a bit more on the alien dwarves, thank you. As we've all kind of been dealing with the elements of their, presence, we see one of the larger dwarves get out of a ship and sound a horn, and the remaining alien dwarves join in with a war cry and are now in a frenzied state. Who knows what that means? They're frenzied, so look out.
All right. So once you know how your target story will continue, flip your card over.
So my dearly deceased friend Aaron, was your death, sorry, your post death world affect, was it just that like the the Earth continues to crumble?
Yeah, yeah. Half the island is sinking into the ocean.
Which half, if you don't mind?
Whichever one is worse for everyone involved.
Everyone ready then?
Yes.
So, Ginge, you are not being disturbed by the jellies because you're an anemone, maybe. But you are still rocketing towards the quickly disintegrating island where the aliens are also starting to like form like a battle like formation. They got their spears out and you're just like rocketing straight towards them. Yeah, so that's what's happening to you.
Okay. So Pen, you offer them drinks, but you're still falling from quite high. You alpha bud really fast. And dwarves have really short arms. So while they really like your offer for drinks, they can reach your drink, but they can't quite reach you. So you're falling. And then the horn sounds. And so not only are they reaching, now they're frenzied. And so now they start falling down towards you, open mouth, because they apparently like to bite heads off, right?
That's
The
true.
sharp teeth.
That's true.
Some say.
Yeah. So like, I'm imagining in the movie that will be made of your story, a zoom out, and you see like it gets animated for the scene because you can't show this in television, and then like this long ladder of alien dwarves with teeth just start collapsing in and like falling down and look like piranhas. It's quite artistic, and but the falling keeps happening because this happens to be the side of the island that is collapsing.
Okay, so obviously being carried by pigeons, there's squirrels and raccoons taking apart this ship. But then the horn sounds. Pigeons scatter. The squirrels and the raccoons get most of it dismantled, but it starts falling at a fast rate. And there's going to be some carnage. Again, probably animated because it involves animals now. Not the animals. So the pigeons just disperse. The raccoons and squirrels there's some still crawling out of this wreckage, but you're still plummeting as well because you're still on the same side that the island is sinking into. You used your summoning. They don't want to come back because they're scared of this horn. What is going to happen? You're free falling alongside Pen.
Do you guys all feel imperiled?
Mm-hmm.
Alright.
I feel like it's imminent.
That's good. That's key.
They said the thing.
Screen cap. All right, so pick an ability to use to survive. Just a reminder, if none of your options look good, feel free to discard one of them, but you must use the ability that you draw in their place. All right, Pen.
Okay, so I feel like I'm about to share something really personal with you guys, so just bear with me, okay?
We'll put a warning on the
Everyone
timestamp.
Okay. So I've got a tattoo of Mothman somewhere. It doesn't matter where. Anyway, I'm a tattoo summoner, and so I can bring my tattoos to life. So I'm like, oh no, save me, Mothman! And what do you know? Mothman just kind of flies out of somewhere, and he's there. Him and his shiny hiney, even though he's all, pitch black, red eyes, as for days. But he comes out, he grabs you by the hand, and he saves me. So he just gently, swoops me out of the way from all the angry, frenzied dwarf aliens off to the side and gently places me down on the island. And he goes, I'm so sorry. I should have been here like 10 minutes ago to warn you, because that's what I do. I'm supposed to come before the disaster. Please forgive me. I'm like, it's okay, Mothman. I forgive and love you. And he's like, well, something's about to go down in some other place in the world, so I got to go and give them a warning. So he pieces out.
I feel like we should be embedding a link to some kind of fanfic at this point.
So, in addition to meeting many animals along my travels, I met this, not quite a man, not quite a bat. I think his name was like Man Bat or something. He had he talked like that. Batman. That's right. Okay. He had a lot of money. And so he bought me this dope utility belt because we became besties, and so we could match. So I have a parachute and some other stuff. So... Just float elegantly and calmly. Yeah, I know it also has a megaphone, so I'm like, I also take it. You remember in Independence Day when it was like, "Hello, boys, I'm back." Like I'm like that guy. So I'm like, friends, friends, friends. I come back. Abduct me again. I'm back, friends.
Well, not only do I have nanobots that help me have abilities of like other animals and attributes of other animals, they also help me reduce things. So I'm thinking if I reduce, like, I don't know, say the crumbling island, so it's just minuscule, I won't hit into that per se. I'd still make an entrance. You know, hi, how's it going? My name's Ginger Snap, also Mothman, the better version of Mothman. How's it going? Quite an entrance. Nice to meet you.
I I should. I think this would be where the elephant rule
So that means I
might.
can shrink myself?
You can shrink an elephant's amount of the island smaller.
If I didn't want to do the island, I could
Yeah,
shrink myself.
yeah. You can shrink yourself.
Okay, so well, backtrack a little bit. Okay. Not only do I reduce myself to like an itty bitty little piece of like dirt, sand, the nanobots are still protecting me from earlier. I still have the ability of the anemone. So, I mean, if anything, I'm going to smack the dirt as a piece of sand. I might sting myself. Not so bad if I do say so myself. But I'm okay because I'm just a piece of sand.
Sounds good. All right, so dead are still involved. We'll do a quick recap to prepare everybody for vote.
Mothman appears out of somewhere, gently, gracefully, demurely even, takes my hand, takes me out from, being falling or being crushed by, angry toothed dwarf aliens, and gently places me on a stable part of the island before piecing off to go help others.
I'm friends with Batman. I got his utility belt, and I have a parachute, and am hookshotting my way to safety, and at the same time using my megaphone to call out to my friends to arrange a play date, maybe a sleepover. Who knows? See what happens.
So I'm going barreling back in with the water. Like I said, nanobots still protecting me, still have the attributes and ability of animals, but also I can reduce anything that's the size of an elephant. Not the size of an elephant, I would hope not. Maybe a bit, no, I'm kidding. But I reduce myself to just, itty bitty grain of sand, so the impact doesn't hurt.
All right. Once you know who you vote for, pick up a token. 3, 2, 1, drop 'em. Oh, it's close. Avi, what went wrong?
So Batman's not allowed to have friends.
Just like he's not allowed to have parents.
So it turns out, flashback, the Joker, the Joker played a trick on Batman, pretending to be the salesman when he went to get a duplicate copy of his utility belt for me, and knowing the sadness it would bring him that his best friend, fuck that Robin kid, that his best friend would die in an alien befriending accident. The torture would bring him. He sabotaged it. So actually, instead of a parachute and megaphone, the megaphone actually was like a reverse angled laser beam. So like the moment I started being like friends, it shot me in the chest. And yeah. Now just to add to the sorrow and moroseness of this moment, they did notice me.
Oh.
The moment before I died, all of them turned. The ones who were going after Penn in the ladder of dwarves, they all did this. Like, can you guys, because I can't on screen do this, can you do like a quick shoulder, like look over the shoulder, like everybody on camera, please? Just a quick look over the shoulder and just, yeah.
We're all looking
everyone
at
was
different
looking-
ways, so we're kind of like,
yeah, looking over. Yeah, there you go, over the shoulder, and they all just like, and like wide eyes. I could see them in my last breath, like they're recognizing me recognizing them, and like I like faintly like reached my hand out longingly. They reached their hands out longingly. A single tear formed, and then motion just sped up again. I fell to the ground, but the laser didn't stop, y'all. The laser kept going. The laser penetrated into the earth. We have a situation going. And it turns out these statues are very flammable. They're like irradiated and shit. Yeah, we've started a nuclear explosion on this island.
I love that this started as alien dwarves, and now we've moved along to the Joker pranking Batman and causing a nuke.
Pranked him to death. All right, so Avi, I assume that the laser and the nuclear chain reaction that's begun is your addition to the overall danger.
It is. That's correct. Yes.
All right, Ben, you and I can further escalate.
And let me
something.
clarify. It's not like an explosion. It's more like a meltdown, like the irradiated uranium rods or whatever. It's like such the same situation.
Okay, so like everything is like radioactively superheated, melting, starting to like melt down. Well, little did you guys know that the origins of Moby Duck are much like the origins of Godzilla. It grew up too close to some radioactive pond waste, and now with this new influx of radiation, its next growth spurt begins, and as it grows to more Godzilla proportions, its big ducky feet go pop out of the mud, and it's going on a rampage on what's left of the island, since his beloved pet human was lost at sea.
Allow me to add on that there's just a human-sized skeleton still on the back of now enlarged Moby Duck from my fallen character. It's actually the exact idea that I had, so I'll add my little skeleton contribution now, and we'll run with it. That'll be good.
Is that like, has it become a pendant of his lost friend?
I was gonna make him a reanimated skeleton version of himself, but I love the radiation angle, so let's run with it.
So only 2 left.
Oh my god, girls to the end, yay!
Girl trip.
we like, I kind of feel like in a way we both win anyway.
Yeah.
Just to recap, island is collapsing. Half of the island, whichever half of the island is less convenient, has completely fallen into the island. The alien dwarves are all frenzied, and just frenzied. Moby Duck is now a Godzilla-sized duck with a human skeleton pendant around its neck, going on a rampage. And the laser has started to heat up the entire island, starting a nuclear chain reaction.
Nuclear meltdown
Is that
chain
correct?
reaction. Yep.
Okay.
All right, and it is back to Ginger Snap.
It's
To
10.
Oh my gosh, you had me?
I had you. Shocker. So, you got gently put down on the island from Mothman. He zoomed out of there because, there's more danger going somewhere else. He has to warn them. Little did you know you were already warned by Mothman. But, the laser's heating up this island. You are starting to take some radiation. It's going quickly. No right away. He can't turn into a ghoul because it's coming on too quickly. So no ghoulifying yourself or anything. It's just you're starting to feel like your feet hurting. This radiation's kind of like giving you some weird morphic abilities. Not good ones, but weird ones.
The bad ones.
Like you become like your feet goes first, so you're technically Bigfoot on your feet. You
Alright,
got some big clown shoes.
Alright, so it's heating up, and it's like basically gonna cook me alive then.
Kind of cook you, slowly cook you alive. The radiation's pouring out a little bit, not so much. Most of the radiation went to Moby Duck. So, that got absorbed by Moby Duck and his poor little skeleton friend. But it still has radiation enough to mutate you. And the first mutation is your feet, which are big, huge, huge feet. So anytime you walk, you're going to fall over.
Well, Ginger, this is like so awkward because like I'm kind of going the same angle because, the whole island is heating up. A meltdown sort of situation is about to happen. And you are the size of a grain of sand, which is really bad here because it is not going to take much heat. It's gonna be pretty quick to be able to melt you. And I'm not sure if you also have like sand-like abilities, but if you are basically like little grain of silicon dioxide, you're at risk of becoming glass. But I'm not sure if that's true for you or not. But like, imagine that, you know. So you're at high chance, very likely, that you're about to just straight up melt from all this heat. Because you're just so small, it doesn't take that much energy to change your temperature to melting point.
All right. So, do you two feel adequately imperiled?
Me more than Pen. I just gave her big feet. And I'm just going to turn into
Well, I
Well,
feel like the danger is still coming from the radiation, from the heat and radiation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you're getting fun mutations. Maybe not fun.
You know what? Maybe this will finally help my toe, and I can. I will live. I'll find a way to live, to continue on with these large feet.
We'll see.
I know a site.
Pen becomes Bigfoot.
There's a niche for everything. You know?
Look at
Or
those
just
hot.
converting our feet to the metric system.
Look at those hot radioactive big feet. Oh yeah.
Excuse me, they're called meters.
Oh my god.
They're called meters.
Well, they are now. All right, Ginger. Go ahead.
Okay, again, nanobots. Avi might have been friends with Batman, but I was actually friends with Iron Man. Nanobots, I got the nanobots. I got the nanobots' ability to, help me with animal attributes and reducing my size and whatnot, and I feel myself starting to heat up and harden. So, nanobots, they're going to do their thing, and I'm going to just, not really turn into Iron Man themselves, but I have a cool suit. So I have these cybernetic augmentations. So I have the suit, but I also have with it, if it's allowed, because it says, my body has been modded. I have the ability to go into my hand into a time warp. And I pull on a string, and at least the radiation in the island goes away, and Moby Duck goes back to regular size.
So you're siphoning the radiation through time and space through a string.
Well, you know how people say, like, oh, there could be different versions of the world? I'm making so our version of the world isn't irradiated on this island and that Moby Duck.
Oh, so like Bioshock Infinite.
With your
Okay.
cybernetic augmentation.
It's
I see.
cybernetic. It's alien-ish.
So, I'm a thermomancer. I can instantly change something's temperature, adding or removing heat. So, what I'm going to be doing is I want you to imagine, an African elephant, okay? Not Asian, African, the bigger one, okay?
Not European.
Not European either. Just think jumbo, jumbo, because, we got the word jumbo from Jumbo the elephant. Anyway, so imagine a jumbo-sized African elephant, and we're just going to, kind of pancake them down, keep the mass, keep the amount of volume the same, kind of pancake them down to they're about, like, a foot or so high. And so the entire ground around me, a foot deep, and, the diameter. No, wait, what am I trying to think of? Yeah, the diameter of this flattened elephant sized area I'm right in the middle of, and I just cool it down. I just cool it down to about actually like 0 degrees Kelvin. I almost said negative, sorry there. About 0 degrees Kelvin, which is the absolute point where, all molecular energy stops, all molecular motion stops, which would be really, really bad. That'd be like way too freaking cold. But that's also gonna help because as that way too superheated, so hot, its radioactive island is giving off this energy, it's going to be absorbed by that 0 Kelvin disk of space. So it's going to get warmed up to a nice ambient temperature, as it should be, thanks to this elephant-sized mass of 0 degrees Kelvin matter. So it would be way too cold at first, but thankfully my large feet are going to kind of insulate me from that beginning, so it's okay.
A quick recap to the jury who is about to judge your fate.
So I have a suit, and it's pretty, like, cybernetic, more alien technology than anything. Again, friends with Iron Man. He's been to space. He probably brought some space stuff back. You can't tell me he didn't. So I have the suit, and one of the special abilities on the hand is to go into a time warp. And I can mess with strings, kind of try to reverse things. It doesn't work fully, But Moby Duck is not Moby Duck anymore, and I also said the island wasn't sinking anymore, something like that. I don't remember.
All right.
My brain, it goes mush.
No worries.
And I have the ability to change temperature. So I'm super cooling the area immediately around me, about, the diameter of a squished African elephant, to the point where it's super chilled. So then the radiant heat that the island was giving off re-warms it up to like a normal temperature. And now that I've like robbed all that energy, that's also going to rob the radiation energy from it as well.
All right. When you know who you would vote for, and since Pen and Ginger can only vote for each other, they don't have to worry about it. 3, 2, 1, drop them.
No, Pen!
I'm so sorry, but I win.
No, girls trips
All
ruined!
right. So 2 things. Ginger, what went wrong?
I snapped the wrong string. I didn't pull the right one. I couldn't see. It was just a hole that my hand could go into. So I pulled the wrong string, and it took all of my nanobots, my abilities away. It did fix some of the island, but it was still the wrong thing because I couldn't see into there. So Pen survives. The frenzy dwarfs are no longer frenzy. They got the technology. They're going to help repair this island, make it more steampunky for a rebuild. But I snapped my own life string. I said goodbye to Pen. My suit went flying, and in the air it just says bye, Pen.
Here's to you,
Sky,
Ginger.
tiny sky writing.
Yep.
It's like actual 12-point.
Bye. Enjoy the
You
door.
didn't double space it. I don't understand.
Damn you, teacher brain.
All right, and Pen, as the survivor, the winner of the game, how does the story end?
So I'm going to continue with what Ginger's snap says. So cooling off the island, just cooler heads prevail. The dwarves are no longer frenzy from being so super heated and then chilled down, and I get to find out that they're pretty chill into steampunk, and we just kind of rock out. I was able to actually explain to them, no, really, I wasn't trying to be rude and run away. I was just, trying to save my life. I am happy to share drinks with y'all. Let's get party. Let's get crunk. And so we just have a great little party for the rest of the day. I'm a little sad because, my friend's gone. But, your old friends are gold and you make new friends are silver. One is silver, the other is gold. I have new friends.
And that was the end of this round of Imminent Peril.
That was actually really fun. I loved it. I loved it. I gotta get this game.